So I figured while I have fires burning down, I could talk about a lot of the kit that I keep on my belt when I come out in the woods. At a minimum, this is typically what I'll carry for a day hike. So first and foremost, we've got my belt knife that I made. This is 1095 steel, forged it myself. It had a very different profile originally, back when I first made it. It's got brass scale liners. The scales are made from desert ironwood. But yeah, it's pretty thick. It's kind of the best of everything. Jack of all trades knife is what I like to call it. Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy duty. I've batoned small pieces with this when I'm carving spoons. Used it for food prep. The tip was a lot different originally. It wasn't kind of like the dagger shape that it is now. But yeah, it just kind of ended up being that way. I'd made this sheath for it. Just wet formed a sheath. And did some cool carvings on it. Wanted to experiment with that. But then, while waterproofing it, I overheated it and cracked the leather. It's still perfectly fine. In fact, it still retains it pretty well, but I think a future video I might remake this sheath, make it a little bit better, and not burn it, hopefully. So there's that. Never leave house without a fixed blade when I'm going to the woods. Next up, we've got my kuksa, quote-unquote kuksa that I carved. Some people call it a noggin. It's got a little toggle. This slips under your belt, and so it holds on like that so you can take it out pretty easily. I like to drink out of this. Absolutely not necessary. In a pinch, if I had no other way to boil water, I could fill this with water and then drop hot rocks in here and boil that, and boil pretty quick because it's a small container, but you're not going to get very much water out of that. But I might as well just carry this because I made it and I love it. And yeah, that's how to sycamore from this same forest, actually. And there's my belt pouch, which is mostly a fire kit. So we're going to go into that. This is buckskin, same piece of buckskin as my backpack that I carry. And same buckskin as this. This is my fire kit. We'll go into that in a second. This is... oh, sorry. This is my tinder kit. It's got a chunk of beeswax, a bunch of cedar, cotton balls, just anything I really need to start a fire. I'm not going to go show you everything that's in there. I'm sure you're not interested in that, but this is a cordage that I made myself. Braided it myself. It's just a little drawstring bag. We'll go through the rest of the bag and then I'll go through the fire stuff. I'll kind of separate that. But this is, at a bare minimum, what I usually like to carry in the woods. Some of it is not super functional. Some of it's more sentimental and redundant, I would say. Okay. That's actually supposed to be in the tinder bag. Big piece of twine. So, I like to carry this for any impromptu carving I want to do. I've carved a couple spoons with this. This is just a cheap, I believe Schrade makes this. But it's a ripoff of the carving jack. But, I mean, it's $34 or something on Amazon. But yeah, it's got all kinds of different knives. All kinds of different blades. Some curved. You know, this is the spoon carving knife that I use the most for getting the bowls and everything. But yeah. So, there's that. We've got a little Falkneven DC3 sharpening stone to maintain both my belt knife, this knife, and then my Swiss Army knife I've also got in there. It's got a diamond side and a ceramic side. I use DC4s more often than not, but I accidentally bought a DC3. Thought it was a perfect size to throw in this belt pouch. Then I've got a little pine sap salve I made. Oops. This is good. It's a antibiotic. It helps with skin inflammation. It helps with all kinds of stuff. Any skin issue pretty much except for deep lacerations, this is going to help with. It's antimicrobial, antibiotic, antifungal. But yeah, good stuff. Really awesome stuff to carry. And in a pinch, it's also got castor oil in it, I believe. Yes. And in a pinch, you can use this since it's got beeswax in it as well. So it's pine resin, beeswax, castor oil. All of them are flammable, and they'll absolutely burn if you put it on a cotton ball or on some tinder. Definitely a tinder extender. Then I've got a, this one's more sentimental. This is for my bachelor party. Kind of doesn't go with the rest of the gears vibe. I like the very traditional old-fashioned look, but this is, you know, plastic and blue. And this is just a Swiss Army knife, I believe a Captain model. But I got this coming back for my bachelor party, so it's super sentimental. I don't use it a whole lot, actually. I'll use the knife for eating and cooking, but that's about the main thing I use it for. I bought it because we didn't have a corkscrew. Not in frame. We didn't have a corkscrew on my bachelor party, so we had to push in the cork of a bottle of mead I had gotten, and yeah, I was like, oh, never again. Bought one with a corkscrew. But it's a good backup knife. It's good to have in a survival situation. So then also I've got, let's get into the fire stuff. Besides the tinder, I've got this little guy, which my wife got me for a Christmas, a couple Christmases ago. This is, I believe it's based off an old design, but what it does is it catches sparks off this cotton rope. Then you use that, touch that to your tinder, and that'll get your fire going. Close it up, pulls that ball in, smothers that fire, and yeah, pretty cool thing. Pocket bellows, which I've talked about in a couple shorts, but I'll go over it now. It's basically just a car antenna, but it extends out. It's hollow. Ooh, where's my camera? It's hollow. So you blow in it to get oxygen to your fire so you don't burn your face. It's a lot more efficient. Keeps your hands away from the fire, keeps everything away from the fire, keeps you from breathing in a bunch of smoke. I'll talk about this. This is bad as bee fire fuses. I cut a bunch in half. They're there. That's a candle there. And then the rest of this is just packed with fat wood powder. I just shaved down a bunch of fat wood into basically sawdust. It clumps together. This is like my get it going in any weather fire kit, essentially, for this belt pouch. So now we'll get into the actual fire kit itself. It's got this nice Triskelion button on it. Sorry if this is a little awkward. I can't really see what I'm doing on camera. But I've got a Hudson Bay tobacco tin in here. It's got a magnifying glass in case you want to start a fire with solar. I've got a Bic lighter, which I use today to start our fire. And then, because I don't want to use the Hudson Bay tobacco tin to make char in because it'd crack the glass, I've got a little char tin, char cloth in it to refill my flint and steel kit in there. And that's all for in there. So we'll get into the Hudson Bay tobacco tin now. Apologies again, wrong-handed. So in here I have this, which is a leather leaf. So if I wanted to make a fire using friction fire, this is what I would use to catch the ember that I would make from the fire, transfer it to a bird's nest. Also protects my magnifying lens on the inside, so it works better. This is called tinder fungus or cramp balls, depending on where you're in the world. Harvested this. If you hit this with a spark, it will smolder and smolder. It smolders for a long time. Really great tinder. Got some char cloth, got some flint, my striker, some more of those bee fuses, which is literally just cotton with beeswax in it. A little piece of a candle that I burned up over the years. And yeah, that's pretty much it for my pocket kit. And I'll go into the shoulder bag maybe in another video once it's a little bit better together.